Squelch, 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 squelch.
Welcome back to Squelch, the video game book club. I'm Dano.
And I'm Storm Rage. And we're here to remind everyone that Mass Effect 2 is a game, and the games are supposed to be fun. Very sadly, Matt is moving this week, so he will not be joining us this week. He should be back next week, fingers crossed. And just a bit of an update as far as our schedule. Because a couple people asked, like, hey, can we get a more specific schedule right at the top of the show? Absolutely. So for February, we'll be playing through Mass Effect 3. I'll be honest, I'm going to guess that we're probably going to go 1 week into March because it's a long game and February is a short month. And this week we're playing the Citadel, the Horizon missions, the Tali mission, the Justicar, and the Assassin and the Collector ship. Next week we are taking the Lair of the Shadowbroker, Project Overlord, and we'll discuss all of the loyalty missions, although we might have done a few of them already. Hopefully we won't get too into those. And then week 4 will be the finale, so that's the Reaper IFF, and then the kind of finale missions there. So all of this and a whole lot more information is available in our Squelch Discord server, which you can find at squelchcast.com. Is that right?
It's in like the show notes of this, like the episode description of the podcast. If you go there, there's a link to our Discord server. You also can find it over at patreon.com/squelch. Squelchcast.com. I don't know if it has it or not, but that will go to our link tree, which you can find at places as well. So, because squelchcast.com leads to the podcast episodes.
Yeah.
So.
I think I did all the things, right?
Yeah, I think so too. I was going to say,
okay.
I feel a little bit seen as if like we're not going to get to the loyalty missions. I have 2 left. I've already played through almost all of them.
Yeah, that's what I had figured.
It's so much fun. But we won't talk about it. Talk about like a little bit, like briefly just kind of like explain a little bit how they work towards at one point in this episode. I want to talk about that, but I'm not going to talk about any of the specifics of the loyalty missions.
Yeah.
Also, Matt sent us a picture of his workspace in Discord. Have you seen that yet, Storm Rage?
Yeah, it's a work of art.
It's his cord management is frustratingly amazing. Like I can't go behind my computer /TV /stereo because it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. And if any one thing were to get disconnected, the whole system would fall apart. So yeah. I'm very frustrated at how nice his looks.
I am very lucky that my dog cannot access the area to the right of my computer because a single walk could trip one wire and then everything's dark. And I do not know how to fix it.
Yeah, Junior Mint will kind of pop back there every now and again. And I kind of feel like it's her cat instincts of like being in a jungle. She's like, ooh, I am in a dangerous place where I must tiptoe carefully. And I'm like, oh, be careful back there. It's a nightmare. All right, I'm going to go thank some patrons.
Thanks.
Yay.
I am pretty incredible.
Thanks, patrons. You're awesome. And we think you're really great. If you want to become a patron, that'd be awesome. It's over at patreon.com/squelch. You can do that for $1 a month or $5 a month or $10 a month. Up to you. We get some pretty cool stuff there. So you get the podcast for $5 a month. You get the podcast a couple days early. The unedited full version of it with all of our nonsense. And then for $1 a month and above, you get the After Dork as well. So this week in After Dork, we're talking about what like anime /TV /whatever we're watching right now. And by we, I mean me, because it sounds like Daniel's too busy for television.
I can talk about games I've been played, but that's about it. Yeah, I haven't watched a ton. I also am very excited because at some point, either this week or sometime this month or early next month, I'm hoping right in between, we at Squelch have plans to watch the Mass Effect movie because there is a Mass Effect movie that is an animated movie that I think is available on YouTube for free now that it takes place in between like the events of Mass Effect 2 and the events of Mass Effect 3, but is not about Shepard. And so it's an interesting tie-in between the two games.
Is that why the shepherd on the poster doesn't look like Shepard at all?
I don't, because it's not supposed to be Shepard.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
It's
I
a
was
different
very
character.
confused by that. Yeah, well, so we'll do that. That'll be our watch along for this month. I think we'll probably watch it at the beginning of February.
Mm-hmm.
That way we finish up with Mass Effect 2. And that'll be available to all of our patrons. So over at patreon.com/Squelch. I'm super excited about that, by the way, because I heard it is a very good movie, like top tier cinema.
I like it. I think it's fun.
I love those kind of movies. I'm extremely excited about it, just so you know. All right, let's go have some tea with Finley.
Hello, old friend. Let's meet for tea after the match, shall we?
Slurp.
So, like I said, I've been finishing up the loyalty missions, and so this popped into my head earlier today where I was like, we should 100% rate how broken Shepard's crew is, emotionally speaking. They are not a well group of like aliens and human beings. They are unwell.
No, generally speaking, yes.
Yes.
So we're gonna rank them on a tier rating system. A, being extremely broken. B, pretty broken. C, somewhat broken. D, as mentally well as one could expect someone who's willing to go on a suicide mission. And this will be before their loyalty missions. We will revisit this next week to do it after their loyalty missions, because I think that does genuinely change some of their mental health.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
And in one specific case, I'm not going to say which one, I think it flip-flops, which is actually really interesting, and I can't wait to talk about that next week. So,
I'm fascinated in who that is.
Oh, yeah. No, I just actually thought about it right now. I'm actually really excited. I do think, like, they are presented with information that takes their, like, worldview to, and you just figured out who it is, don't you?
I think I did, yes, because I started that mission yesterday.
All right, so let's get going. You have them listed here. So the crew members are Miranda, Jacob, Morden, Garrus, Jack, Grunt, Tali, Samara, Thane, Kasumi, and Zaid. Correct?
And yes, and real quick, we haven't talked about all of these yet because we're talking about the recruitment missions later today. So I'm going to give super simple one-word descriptions for each of these characters, just in case you haven't played, so you can get like a sense of who these people are.
Yes.
Miranda, genetically perfect. Jacob, ex-Alliance soldier. Morden, scientist. Garrus, best friend. Jack, crazed psychotic biotic.
Yes.
Grunt, tank-born Krogan. Tali, engineer, best friend. Samara, space paladin. Thane, assassin. Kasumi, thief. Zaid,
Mercenary.
ex-vet mercenary.
Yeah, mercenary. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's start with Miranda. Honestly, go ahead. What
I was going to say D tier. To me,
100%.
she seems pretty mentally well at this point in the game.
As well as one could expect to have been, who ran away from home and like into the arms of a terrorist organization, but she's handling it really well. Like I would say, hey, good on you. Good on you.
Like there's trauma in the background and it's not processed, let's be honest, but it is like it's stuffed enough under the rug that it's not impacting the mission.
Yep, 100%. Next is Jacob. Jacob is also D tier. I mean, if we had an S tier as in, hey, this person is just doing real good, like just honestly, you know what, not even, no notes, no therapy needed. This person's just living their life to the best of their ability. That's Jacob. Like he's cruising.
Yeah, Jacob is just like he's what I wish Caden was in Mass Effect 1.
100%. He is 100% this game's Caden, but in a way that is good. In a good way. Yes, much more interesting. Next is Morden.
I think this is where things get interesting.
Same.
Where would you put Morden?
I would say C. Morden, obviously, is a little bit going on there to the fact where he's like, oh yeah, I need to go to this terrible place and I'm going to build a clinic there and I'm going to save people. But part of that saving me might be, hey, I'm going to murder bad people as well because the ends justify the means. So I think he's kind of broken, but like as far as like, is he completely busted? I don't think he's busted.
I I can be convinced of C. My initial inclination was B, because when if you talk to Morden on the ship, Morden was involved in the remodification of the Genophage, and you can tell he's pretty, like, he's not conflicted about the past work that he did, but he is very conflicted about what does the future, what's the right course going into the future, and it feels like there's a guilt there, which feels strange for a Solarian. It feels like as guilty as a Solarian can feel guilt.
I would kind of push back. When you first pick him up, he's like, yeah, that was a thing that had to be done, and I did it, and it's okay. You know, I don't think he's processed that. I think he's processed the way that he has completely shoved it in the background. I think he's just fine with it because he's not dealing with it, which puts him at C.
I think that there's like one conversation that you can have with him shortly after you recruit him on the ship before the loyalty mission. I can't remember if it's a conversation option or what, but I remember talking to him and I was like, that was wrong. What you did was wrong. And he bites back in a way that is very defensive. And it was like one conversation that I was like, so you're not okay with this. You're not nearly as okay with this as you say you are.
I didn't take that as him being defensive so much as him being like, why are you so dumb that you can't understand why this is okay? That's how I read that one. But
yeah,
I think
let's go ahead and put it in C then. We'll put it in C.
Awesome. So Garrus is B. I think Garrus is pretty broken.
I think Garrus is absolutely B.
And he would be A, except for that Jack is on this list.
And like, he's real close to A- territory because Garrus had like his entire, after Mass Effect 1, he goes on this like beautiful hero arc, but then he kind of misses Shepard. He forms his own crew. His entire crew is slaughtered, and he is not great about it. He's not stoked about it, but he also has enough experience with Shepard, and now that he has a purpose, like I think if Shepard did not intervene, I think Garrus would be A. With Shepard, I think Garrus is B.
Okay, I'll buy that. Okay, sure. Yep. Next up is Jack. Jack is extremely broken.
I think A tier just might be extremely broken, parentheses, Jack.
So Jack is a human biotic who was experimented on by Cerberus with a group of other children in a facility to create as powerful as a human biotic as they could make. Yeah. So powerful that she eventually escaped by unaliving every other soul in the building and then getting arrested and trapped and put into cryo because she can't be kept in any other way. And then she gets out and she's just like, I don't care what happens as long as you let me just kill as many people as I want. And you're like, oh, okay.
And then the decades between her getting into cryo and her escaping were just like, she's up front of like, every single crime you can think of, I did that. Every single bad thing you can think of somebody doing, I've done it. I'm not a child anymore.
And some of it was so funny. It was like, yeah, I was a pirate and a kidnapper, but like I kidnapped because I was a pirate. They weren't really separate. You just, as a pirate, you kidnap people. Like, what's the big deal? That's Jack. Grunt. I'm curious how you feel about Grunt.
I think Grunt is B tier, where he has not simply lived long enough to process anything, and he's just such a confused tank boy. And when your only thoughts are kill / what am I doing in the universe, those are pretty big thoughts, and that's a pretty hard thing to deal with. And that's all Grunt talks about is I can kill, and also what is the point of my existence? And it's those two, and they are very far apart.
I'll buy that. Yeah, you could have like convinced me that he was C as well because he's Krogan, but I think B is a perfectly good place to put him. Tali's up next. I think Tali is C tier. I think she was doing pretty good, and then she went on this more or less suicide mission that she didn't really understand why she was sent on it, but her and her team went on it because they were told to, and she does what she's told.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, there's history there that she's frustrated about, and that she doesn't understand why this happened, but she also knows that, like, the mission comes first, and she follows orders. So,
I might argue D tier for her. Because I think in very similar vein, I think both Miranda and Jacob have had those similar experiences of sometimes the mission goes bad, and she seems pretty okay at the end of her recruitment mission of like, hey, I did my job, let's get off this rock. I'm pissed about it,
she was
but
pretty mad,
I'm
though.
fine.
She's pretty mad. I don't think she's doing nearly as well as Miranda or Jacob, because she was pretty mad. And then especially after she gets, like, right before her mission as well, when she gets a notification that she is being court-martialed, I would say she is at that point then really mad. So I think she's C. I don't think she's doing as well as Miranda and Jacob.
I'll give you a compromise. We'll do C, but below Morden.
Yes, that's fair. Yes, she's not doing she's doing better than Morden for sure. 100% do better than Morden.
I think we currently have it in order for each of our tiers as far as like so each tier is its own thing, and then we have them ordered correctly by most unwell to most well.
Yes, I agree 100%. Next we get Samara. I mean, B, I guess.
God,
C, maybe.
She's
because,
so
like,
chill about her murderous instincts. It's very confusing.
To the point where maybe she's A. Maybe she is so broken. She seems like maybe she's like a full-on psychopath. Like, to the point where, like, you know, she does not understand right and wrong, and so therefore she just has no emotions.
I came in ready to argue for D tier for her, but I will accept A tier because she's that difficult to read. I don't know. So I'm on board with A tier because, spoiler, we'll get into it here soon. When you try to recruit her, she talks about how her main goal is to hunt this individual. We later find out this individual is called an Ardok Yakshi, which is basically like a monster within Asari culture, and also happens to be her daughter. And so her life's work is to murder her daughter, and that seems pretty terrible. So I'm on board with A tier for her.
Yeah, I think A as well, because she shows no emotion. It's like, yeah, by the way, I have to go take care of this business. My other two daughters went ahead and just put themselves in, like, personal prison, you know. Well, not why she couldn't handle that as well. I'm like, oh, you're insane. You're an insane person. I haven't even put her in my party yet because I'm afraid of what she's going to do.
She's scary. She's scary.
Next up is Thane. What do you think about Thane?
I think Thane, and my initial reaction is in between Morden and Tali on C tier, because I think he's had a past. He's dealt with almost all of it, though. Like, he's pretty set, and he's like, yeah, I've done terrible things, and I've kind of accepted that. And, like, the way that he holds his religion and his morals are pretty set in a way that is reasonable. Like, there's not any extreme beliefs within him, and I think that he's processed a lot of the bad things going on.
There are extreme beliefs, but I think that they're fine. I think he's handling them right. So he calls himself a tool. It's like, you don't get mad at the gun for killing somebody. And Shepard's like, the gun can't think.
Yeah.
But that's also kind of where he is. That's how he was raised and trained. That's his belief. So, and he's fine about it, except for this one last loose end that we'll deal with next week. So I would go with C, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Kasumi feels like a D tier to me. She seems like she's got this one thing that's kind of hanging over her, but we don't really hear about it a lot until we get to the loyalty mission. I think she's also somebody that might shift a bit depending on the loyalty mission, but she seems pretty well put together. And I don't know if it's just because we don't have as many scenes with her, because she doesn't really, even when we do talk to her, she doesn't really talk about herself much. She talks about other people.
I love her so much.
I do too. She's fantastic. But that's why I think my inclination is D tier.
I go D. Sure. Yeah.
I would be. How do we feel about putting her like?
She's more broken than Miranda and Jacob.
That is what I was thinking as well.
Yeah. And then Zaid, I would accept both B and C with him.
Yeah. I'm thinking B tier after Grunt.
I think, you know what? I'm going to say C tier because I want to give us room for next week. All
right.
Have you done his loyalty mission yet?
I've not yet.
Yeah, I would say C tier. He is an angry boy, but you don't really get into it yet. So he seems like he's right now. When you first recruit him, he just seems like he is a mercenary who has seen a lot, has dealt with a lot, and basically nothing phases him anymore. But like obviously he's a little bit mad at something, and then you get into his loyalty mission, and things just get absolutely bananas. So
to recap. In order from most broken to least broken, in our A tier, we have Jack and Samara. In our B tier, we have Garrus and Grunt. In our C tier, we have Zaid, Morden, then Thane, then Tali. And in our D tier, we have Kasumi, Miranda, and then Jacob just doing good. Just chilling.
And what's the best part about Jacob is when you go and you chat with him and you have like your little we're buds chats. You both lean back against like a countertop with like your hands crossed, your legs crossed. Yes. And it's just very much like two buds being buds. Jacob is just living his life. It's like, I was in the Alliance and I just, it wasn't really my thing. And so now I'm working for Cerberus and this is good. Living life. It's good.
Oh, you were in the Alliance? I was in the Alliance. That's pretty cool. Hey, do you want to go save the world? Sure. Okay. Let's go save the world.
The shade that he throws towards Tali after you recruit her is one of my favorite lines in the game.
One of my favorite things. We'll talk about it. When we get to Tali's recruitment.
Yep. All right. Speaking of, let's go to the Mass Effect recap.
Intercom's open. If you got anything you want to say to the crew, now's the time.
Real quick.
Okay.
Joker in this game is amazing. He is so much fun. I go and talk to him after every single mission because he has something amazing to say after every single mission.
I need to talk to him more frequently. He's at the head of the ship, and I keep forgetting to go there after every time. I make my way through the bottom, and then I go all the way up, and then I usually just like hit the CIC and then pick another planet, so I forget to talk to Joker a lot.
There's got to be a Joker supercut somewhere. I'm going to find it so I can post it because he is absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Absolutely love him.
I'm excited.
All right.
So, to recap, and again, you probably did these in different order than we did, but oh well, how else are we going to talk about the plot of this game? Starting on the Citadel. Shepard returns to the Citadel to find that the Council is not nearly as friendly as we last met. If you save the Council, they praise you at the end of Mass Effect 1, they call you a war hero, they thank you for all your work, they put a human counselor on the Citadel. If you don't save the Citadel, then, well, there's nobody to praise you, but there's nobody to condemn you either. And your interactions here depend heavily on whether or not you save the Council in the last playthrough. If you save them, they'll be a little distant, but generally still understanding. If you did not save the Council, they will not care for you at all. And in fact, the Council believes that the Reaper, and he uses air quotes when he talks about the Reapers. Ah, yes, the Reapers. It's unbelievable. That they believe that the Reaper threat has been extinguished and that it was actually just a Geth warship. The human counselor will try and vouch for you, and in most of our cases, I think all of our cases, it's Anderson tries to vouch for you.
Yep.
And if you're kind enough to them in that you let them live last game, they will reinstate you as a Spectre. So you can get your Spectre status, kind of, because they don't give you any funds, they don't give you access to any weapons, they're just like, hey, you could be a Spectre.
Yeah, well, especially because you're not in Citadel space, so it's no it's like they're like, yeah, sure, you're a Spectre, dude. Just make sure you stay out of Citadel space.
Yeah, just don't hang out here and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You can go around the Citadel. It's much smaller and basically a completely different design than it was in Mass Effect 1. If you got used to the layout of Mass Effect 1, this is not that at all. And I am thankful. I am so thankful because the design on this I love so much more. And there's a bunch of shops you can go to, and every single one of them you can offer an endorsement of. Won't they feel bad because you're endorsing every single shop, and if every single shop has an endorsement, doesn't no shop have an endorsement? Who cares? You want discounts. You can also tell some Krogan that there aren't any fish in the Citadel pond, which is adorable.
There are two ways you could take that, by the way.
Yeah.
So you could either tell them the truth that there are no, so there's these two Krogans, and you kind of walk by and they're having a conversation, and the conversation just goes, like one Krogan says to the other, you know, there's a whole bunch of water up there. Like, do you think there are fish in there? And the other one was like, I don't know. Why do you care? And he goes, I don't know, because it's interesting. Why wouldn't there be fish? There's a whole bunch of water. And so then you can go up to the Palisade. It's called the Palisade. Is that what it's called?
I can't remember.
Anyway, you can go. It's you go to the fancy part of the Citadel, and you can find out that there are no fish up there because that's actually just drinking water. And that'd be weird if there were fish in there. So you can go back and you can tell the Krogan, hey, there are no fish in there. It's just drinking water. Or you can go to one of the shops and buy a fish and bring it back to the Krogan and lie to them and tell them, yes, and here is a fish.
It's so good. It's so good. You can also help a Quarian who's being harassed by a CSEC officer and a Volus, who are both being real jerks about this innocent Quarian, just doing Quarian stuff. But the majority of what the Citadel is shops now. So this is where you can buy a lot of your upgrades. You can buy a couple of guns. You can buy the magazine. You can buy some magazines. You can buy some space hamsters. You can buy some fish. All sorts of things. Dana, what are your thoughts on the Citadel, both the redesign and how you use it in Mass Effect 2?
The redesign, I'm fine with. It was awful. They could have made it better still. But it could be worse too.
What don't you like about it?
It still just feels complicated. I get the Citadel confused, like mixed up with the blue lady, like Ilium, sometimes in my head.
So the Citadel has 4 different floors that you can activate, that you can go to at any time using the rapid transit. And it's just 4 floors up, down. There's no like anything else. It's a pretty easy to navigate area.
Yeah, no, it's 100% better than the old one was. It's 100% better than the old one was. So yeah, I like it. I'm happy with it. I love that they were able to. I love how do we make things better, that these physical locations better that were awful. And like, I know, let's just destroy everything. And then in Mass Effect 2, we could just make it better.
Yeah, it's such a fun choice of like, this place had to be rebuilt entirely because reasons.
So there's a couple of things I absolutely love about the Citadel. First is you have everybody gets a recording of you. It's like,
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel. Every store is your favorite store on the Citadel.
Fun fact, I, for a while, my subscriber alert was, I'm Commander Stormrage, and you're my favorite subscriber on the Citadel. But, like, nobody watched my Twitch streams when I was playing Mass Effect, so I eventually changed it, but it was that for a while.
I loved your Mass Effect Twitch streams.
I really appreciated you and Matt watching them.
They were always so much fun.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
It's so good. It's so good.
Every time I go back to the Citadel to buy the fish that I killed, and I walk into the store, it says that. It makes me laugh.
I love that dump bit so much. It's so fun.
No, I think it's really good. And just in case you are here, we talked about this. I think it was either just in the show Discord. After a certain point in the game, the stores do restock. So, like, it's after either, like, the Horizon mission or the Collector mission. One of these 2 missions, the stores get, like, upgraded stuff. So, like, it's worth going back around and rebuying stuff. So,
I need to go back then. That's fun.
All right. Yeah. Other than that, I think the council, man, they're so frustrating because
Yeah, they are.
you go and you're like, hey, here's proof, and they're like, how can we believe you? Last time we didn't believe you, and an awful thing happened, so why would we believe you again?
Yeah.
I'm like, but what? Why? Get your head out of the sand. It's just all very. It just seems way too true to the real world.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
All right. Should we go to
Moving
Horizon?
on.
Yeah.
Later, we realize that we ask Morden, hey, have you developed a countermeasure yet? Because one of the colonies is under attack, and it's about to be under attack, which is a little suspicious how the elusive man knows that it's going to be under attack. We find out more about that later. And he's like, hey, go to this colony and save it before it becomes under attack. Is Morden ready with a countermeasure? We go and ask Morden, hey, you ready for a countermeasure? He says yes. So there's a countermeasure for a low amount of seeker swarms. We probably won't need to worry about that later on. And in this case, you actually don't for this mission. The seeker swarms ignore you entirely. Good job, Morden. You did great. And we land on the colony world of Horizon. And as we are landing, we see a brief cutscene of what happened kind of just before we get there, which is the Seeker Swarms stinging all the colonists. And who's that? Is that the Vermeer survivor, which for all of us is Ashley Williams? It is. It is one of your companions from the first game, whoever survives on Vermeer. And they are on the colony. We'll probably find out more about that later. We do. We land, and we find out the collectors are indeed collecting. They're doing the thing that they're supposed to do. And they also have husks, but these husks are different husks. They're not the same husks that they were in the first game, but they're basically the same husks that they were in the first game. What's the difference? There's not spikes. That's about it. That's really all about it.
It's actually all there is.
Yeah. So we confirm they are definitely in league with the Reapers because the Reapers created the husks. So in order for them to have husks here, they had to had to be working with the Reapers. So there's also some big guns here. We talked to an engineer who's in a hidey hole, and he's like, hey, there's these big guns that are installed, but we couldn't get the targeting systems to work. These big guns could probably shoot down that big collector ship that's taking people away. So we just need to activate it. We do. We activate it. And we save about half the colonists because they didn't get loaded into the ship, but the ship flies away. Ashley Williams comes out. Or Caden, depending on who you did. They're pretty mad that we're working for a terrorist organization. Fair. We say, we've got things to do. They say, I don't know if I could trust you or love you anymore. Fair. We're gonna go work with terrorists. Bye! They send us an email later, probably about, hey, it was a very confusing time to see you because you were dead for 2 years.
Ashley was like, she's like, I don't know if I, you know, basically like, I don't know if I can love you. And I was like, I never did. You just are so confused. I was just trying to be nice. You seemed like you didn't have any friends. I was trying to be nice. I
was doing so good to just like be kind to you. So like, hey, you don't know if you can be loved with me. Good.
That's
probably
what I
don't.
said. Yep. I was like, great, good, great, grand, wonderful. See you later or not.
I do love that accident of accidentally seducing Ashley Williams is going to follow you through all 3 games.
Oh,
and it's going to be something that every time you're going to be like, why?
That's so annoying. And I didn't even get the achievement for it. Because I thought I like figured out. I was like, oh no, we shouldn't. And I was like, okay, good, I figured it out. And then nope, still there's a dumb picture, which is gone now, thankfully. But
yeah,
I did love that one of the people that you save on this planet, he was like, the reason they're here is because of the big guns. It's like, how can you get mad at the people who are trying to help? They literally were like, oh, I think you need help. And you're like, well, now that you brought help, now we're in trouble. It's like, maybe they knew you were going to be in trouble, so they tried to help. It's just so frustrating. But yeah.
So we then have a conversation with the Elusive Man, and we find out that the Elusive Man leaked to the Alliance that SHEPARD was going to be going to the colony of Horizon, and maybe is part of the reason the colonists are being abducted. So the Alliance, in response, sends Ashley Williams and the guns. One of the reasons that they have the guns there is to help defend the colony from some form of attack. When Ashley Williams gets stationed there, then the collectors are like, hey, you are connected to SHEPARD. we want to take you out because that would be real mad for Shepard. So when we go on board, it's because the Elusive Man knew they would attack the planet because they leaked the plans of a fake attack to the Alliance, which then brought the Collectors, which then brought us. It's a very, like, connecting all the dartboards, all the string on a bulletin board kind of moment. It's one of those moments where you go, oh, the Elusive Man, not a good guy. A very smart guy that played everybody correctly. He knew what Shepard would do. He knew what the Alliance would do. He knew what the Collectors would do. And he, like, played out the game perfectly. It's very frustrating.
It was a fun mission, though. It was a fun mission. The giant mosquitoes. You get some fun collector rifle, a fun collector rifle, and a fun collector heavy weapon. Like, you're kind of like, it's very similar to the very first mission in Mass Effect 1, I feel like. We're on a human colony, working through a human colony, trying to save them with the husks and everything. It was a really cool callback, I thought, to Mass Effect 1.
It is also the first time that we really get to fight the Collectors, and the Collectors are a really interesting enemy because their main mechanics, they have Collector, like, soldiers, which are pretty similar to any other, like, NPC that you fight. But at any point, any of them can be taken over by an individual named Harbinger. And Harbinger's in the Collector ship, and Harbinger is like this like tech bro, essentially, who can mind control these Collector drones and turn them temporarily into like an avatar for Harbinger, where they gain increased armor, increased barrier, they have better attacks, they can get you out of cover. I've been killed so many flippin' times by Harbinger throwing a stupid thing that knocks me out of cover and then just murders me. It's very frustrating. So with a lot of the times when you're fighting bosses, if you take out the boss first, then you can clean up the chaff later. But with the Collectors, very specifically, you want to take out the other non-bosses first, because then he can't take over anybody else. And it took me so long to figure that out. If you're like me, and it took a while to figure it out, here's a shortcut for you. If you figured it out the very first time you fought them, congratulations, you're much smarter than I was.
I wonder if that's the case on easier difficulties or not, because he never took over anyone else. He took over people throughout the level. He would like all of a sudden he'd have a bot like Harbinger pop back down again, but like he never took over someone during the same fight. But I was playing on the normal difficulty at the time.
He will give it enough time. I'm guessing on normal difficulty, you're able to kill them fast enough that the cooldown doesn't trigger. But on higher difficulties, it's much more difficult to clear them out in that time frame.
Yeah, because this is one of the early missions in the game, and so I was still playing on normal difficulty. So, like, getting through, especially when you have, like, the laser beam, the Collector laser beam for a heavy weapon, you could just blow them away so quickly with that thing. Yeah, it was just silly.
So after the Horizon mission, we are told, hey, get a good team because things are about to go down. So we go and recruit 3 more people. We go recruit Tali, the Justicar, and the Assassin. For Tali's mission, it's probably the most basic of the missions. We go to help Tali on a planet in Geth-controlled space. Tali is researching something important. Apparently the star is dying faster than it should. Huh, is that important? No, not really. We never really find out about that later on.
We're just told to go help science. We're told to go help Tali with her MacGuffin. There's a MacGuffin on this MacGuffin planet. That MacGuffin is a MacGuffin.
Is that MacGuffin going to be MacGuffin-y? No, don't worry about it. Anyway, Tali is on the other side of the planet. Better kill Geth on the way there. You find more of Tali's squad. They die. Uh-oh. You keep fighting. You find the last remaining member of Tali's squad. He could die. You decide if you want to help him, or you could put his life in a lot of danger. You kill more Geth. You find Tali. She's ready to get out. She pieces out with you after completing her mission. She gets on the board in Normandy. Jacob's like, hey, introduce yourself to Edie, the ship's artificial intelligence. Tali looks around, and for somebody that does not have a face, gives you the dirtiest look you could possibly imagine.
So quick backstory on, when you finish this mission, Jacob, you are back on like the bridge of the ship. You're in like the conference room of the ship. You're in the conference room. Jacob is there for no real reason, just as a representative of Cerberus, basically.
Yeah. After every mission, there's usually a brief cinematic, for lack of a better word, between you, the person you just recruited, and then either Jacob or Miranda or both sometimes.
Yeah. So it's Tali and Jacob, and Tali is just holding nothing back. She clearly despises Cerberus and then despises Jacob because he's a member of Cerberus. And Jacob just being a cool dude about it. He's like, yeah, I get it. You know what? If I were in your shoes, I'd also not be cool with it. I didn't know they did that. I'm not proud that they did that. Real sorry about that. And she kept on just like throwing like shade and like kept on just being super mean. And then he's like, all right, cool. I'm heading out. And then he goes, oh, by the way, make sure you say hi to Edie, the ship's AI. And she's like, bum, bum, bum. She's just clearly
It's so good. I also love one of the lines that Tali has, which is, Shepard, I assumed you were working undercover to blow up Cerberus. If that's the case, I'll lend you a grenade. If not, I'm here for you, not them.
In case you didn't remember, so Tali is a member of, what's the name of Tali's race? I'm blanking on it.
Quarians.
Quarians are a people who have no home planet because they created the Geth to be like a servant AI race. Eventually, they became like sentient and destroyed the Tali's homeworld. And now they're a flotilla. They're, just kind of like floating around space, just surviving. So her entire people despise AI for obvious reasons because her people in the Geth are like mortal enemies. So having an AI on board would obviously be a thing that she would have a problem with. So
Yep.
Super duper
The next person
funny.
that we recruit. Or any other thoughts about the Tali mission?
I did have something, but what was it? It's totally gone. Oh, yes, I do remember. I remember. It was a super fun mission, especially as a sniper, because there are just these huge, long sight lines. So I could just sit there in the back and then just like across the entire level. Like a Geth would like peer down a pair of some steps out of cover, boom, right in the head. Boom, like I'd run out of ammo and have to go pick up more ammo. It was a ton of fun. And then the final mission, the final boss was basically like a tank, like a Geth tank for all intents and purposes.
This one took me so long.
And you have 3 different paths you can take. And there's like the path to the right where you get the high ground basically, but you also can get flanked super easily. There's the middle with a bunch of cover, but then you can get flanked on both sides. And then there's the left.
And also on the right-hand side, one of the things about this planet is that if you're in the sunlight, it'll deteriorate your shields naturally. And so the right side, you get the high ground. You only get one side that you're worried about, but you basically have no shields the entire time that you're over there.
Yeah, and then the left side, which side I took the second time. I tried to go to the high ground the first time, but because my shields got blasted, it was just no go. It was no go. And then the left side is what side I went on. And once you clear everything out from that side, you actually have like a really sneaky window onto the boss so that he can't regenerate his shields. So yeah, it's that's the way I went with it. Went pretty good. So
it's a really fun mission, and it introduces you. So the one person that you can save, did you save Cal Rieger?
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yes,
the
I did.
Quarian who's like the military chief of this operation, and he's a bad boy. I want to use a lot of adult language here, but I won't because it's Squelch. But he's a bad boy, and he's fantastic. And he's just like, hey, my entire squad's dead. I'm hit, but I will still shoot at this thing. I will still back you up because I will go down with this mission. My job is to protect the mission, and your only way to save him is by using a Paragon option of like, hey, no, sit this out. I'll take care of it. I have this covered. And he comes walking in at the end and is like, hey, I'm still alive. Thanks for saving my life. And he's awesome. I love Cal Rieger.
So I think you can sacrifice him. He basically takes care of the regenerating shields, right?
Yes.
I guess there's a way to have him do that and to also still save him, but I guess it's really hard. I didn't actually read into it, but there is a way to do it.
That's probably true.
But I just told him I used the Paragon option to sit back and wait, and then I think it took 3 times total. So on my first try, I went to the right, and my shields got blasted, and then I had to deal with some Geth that didn't work. The second time, I tried to go to the left, but I like rushed up the left too quickly and tried to flank the boss, and then there were like 3 or 4 Geth there that I didn't know were there, and absolutely wasted me. And then the third time, I just took it real slow, and then just waited for the Geth to come down the stairs, and then cleared everything out, and then just found this like sneaky window where I could just like heavy weapon and snipe down the boss. So it was just kind of slow and steady. The third time was how I took care of the boss. So yeah,
Nice.
super fun mission. Super fun mission. Super duper
Very fun mission. Next up is the Justicar. This one's a little bit more difficult to explain because there's a lot of backstory about like what a Justicar is, and we're not going to go into a lot of those things.
Space
very
Paladin.
broadly though. What's a Justicar? It's a superpowered Asari space cop / paladin who has a very, very, very rigid code of honor that cannot be broken. If you make them break their code of honor, they will kill you. No ifs, ands, or buts. They are very light about murder. They have no qualms about ending a life. It's just fine. It's whatever it is. So you go and you find a regular cop who's dealing with the Justicar. Justicar's name is Samara, and Samara is hunting someone and needs to find the name of a ship. The regular cop is investigating the crime of drugs and murder, and Samara is getting in the way because Samara needs to find out the name of the ship that is also tied with the people that are doing the drugs and murder stuff. So the cop needs to arrest Samara because they're interfering with an investigation, and Samara says, "Hey, my code says I'll cooperate for 24 hours. After that, I'm leaving." And the cop's like, "I can't let you leave." And she's like, "No, I'm leaving. This is not a debate. This is me telling you I am going to leave, and I will kill everybody that is in my way, preventing me from leaving." And the cop's like, "Cool. Hey, Shepard, please help me out here, because I have to do my job. I can't let her go, but I don't want to die. So Shepard, can you investigate and figure out this stuff for all of us, and then we'll be fine." So Shepard does. We investigate, we find the materials and the name of the ship. Silly gangs, you can't hide things from Shepard. He's got a gun. Samara joins us, and we move across the galaxy doing fun stuff.
What did you think about this one?
I also like this mission. I think from a mechanic standpoint, it's pretty... I don't like the layout quite as well as like Tali's mission, but I think that there's a lot of fun aspects to it, and I think Samara is a really good world-building thing about Asari culture, because we get more interaction with Asari in general, but not specifics about their culture in a lot of 1 or 2, and I think it's a very good world-building thing.
I felt like the mechanics of the level was fun. The gang was like, it was one of the first times we kind of really go against like fully armored and shielded mercenaries, which was fun because when you first fight them with Garrus, it's early enough in the game where they're not really shielded or armored very much. But by the time you get the Justicar, you are fighting pretty heavily armored, which I think is fun. As far as like the mission and the character though, I feel like, they have a very rigid code of honor, except for when we need them to have them not have a code of honor for purposes of the game. It's like, how do we get Shepard to go on this mission without her? She can be in jail for 24 hours, but you only have 24 hours. And then you have like, she has a rigid code of honor that she does her own thing, except for now she doesn't because she's following you now. And so because she decided that you were more important than her mission, except for not as soon as like she decides she wants to tell you about her mission. So I kind of feel like it's fine, but I feel like it's probably the weakest bit of writing in the game, I felt like.
I think it is a little bit more MacGuffin-y type thing of like it does what it needs to because it needs to, not necessarily because it's what is logical. Because the main way that they get around it is they say, "Hey, Shepard, I have to swear myself to your service." And that basically means that I don't have to worry about the code during my time when I'm with you. But if you make me do anything bad, I will kill you once our mission is done because our bond will be severed.
Basically, it's like your code is my code until we're done, which is fine. It just feels, I don't know. It felt kind of weak. I don't really know what it is about it.
Yeah.
I honestly would rather have recruited the grizzled space cop. She was much more fun and interesting, I feel like.
She is pretty fun. I like her a lot.
But yeah, it was still, the mission itself was a lot of fun, I felt like, though. And like climbing up a skyscraper it felt very much like a 1990s action movie. The most 1990s action movie of any mission I felt we played. Because you're very much
I think you might be confusing them because we don't go up the skyscraper too much in this one. This one is more the base of operation, and then we just kind of go from level to level. This one ends kind of with the hangar bay.
But this is the one where you're going up and you're fighting all of the mercenaries, and then they're all the employees that you're rescuing and that kind of stuff along the way, though.
Nope. That is the different one. That is the next one.
Oh, that's the assassin. You're right. Yes. Oh, yeah. Nothing about this one is redeemable then. Yeah. This is the weakest mission in the game.
I think I would agree as far as like recruitment. I like Samara a lot, but it is a lot of suspension of disbelief or changing of logic, which can be a bit frustrating for some, I imagine. Yeah,
this one is forgettable. I actually am trying really hard. I do, because you have to go back into like the crime scene and stuff and go and through. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Super forgettable mission.
Yeah, a little bit. The next one is the Assassin, which I think this mission rocks. I like this mission a lot. We're still on Ilium and we're looking for an assassin. The assassin is in a tower. Time for a Die Hard? I haven't seen Die Hard. I'm just guessing it's time for a Die Hard.
It's basically time for a Die Hard. Yeah.
We fight our way up the tower looking for the assassin, who is looking to kill a specific Asari that we met in Mass Effect 1. She was super sketchy, and she actually had us kill her own sister. We ask about the assassin. All the mercenaries are like, we're going to kill you. Don't ask about the assassin. And we're like, hey, we're just looking for the assassin. You don't have to kill us. And then we're like, we'll just keep killing our way to knowledge. What a good logic. We make our way up to the very top of the tower, and we ask her about the assassin. She thinks we're the assassin. The assassin does the assassin thing. His name is Thane. He's a Drell. Think space reptile? He's religious, but not in a preachy way. He prays for his own forgiveness for his crimes, and he is awesome. He is super cool. I think as far as, like, difference in personality from other members of the ship, Thane stands out the most to me. I love him a lot. He ends up joining our ship.
Yeah, I would say Kasumi and Thane have the most differentiating personalities, I feel like. But, like, yeah, I love Thane a whole bunch. I also love the backstory of the Drell. Super cool. Probably get into it more next week when we do loyalty missions. But I think the Drell are really, really cool. And I want to learn a lot more about them. Like, to the point where maybe I'm going to read a book, like a Mass Effect book about the Drell, because they are super cool. And
they're really
Thane
cool.
is really cool. He's an assassin that was raised from childhood by the
Hanar.
The Hanar, which are the purple tentacly people. And really, really cool, really, really fun. Big fan of this mission and big fan of the character. Yeah.
It's fantastic. The last mission that we're going to talk about this week is the Collector ship. So with our crew generally complete and a couple loyalty missions likely finished, we get word that the Collector ship that blew up SHEPARD at the beginning of the game, we don't know that yet, but we figure it out very soon, was shot down by some Turians. Well, not shot down, but it is offline? That seems suspicious. Why is it just offline? Don't worry about it. We check it out. We find a lot of pods full of colonists, and we find a lot more pods that are not full of colonists. They could harvest nearly every human in the galaxy with this amount of pods. The ship is quiet. Too quiet. Weirdly quiet. We don't worry about it. We search the data for collectors. We find it. The collectors find us. The ship powers up. We barely get out. The elusive man knew it was a trap by the collectors. He didn't tell us it was a trap intentionally, because he, quote, knew we could survive. Or maybe he didn't trust us. What a sneak, no matter what he is. We find a way to get to the Reaper world. We just need to find something called an IFF, an Identify Friend Foe Matrix. But we don't have good odds, so we better make sure our characters' loose ends are tied up before we go. And so the elusive man at this point says, hey, you need to find this thing. I'll tell you when I find it. And also, make sure everybody is prepared. And then you have a brief little scene with Jacob and Miranda, and Jacob's like, hey, I've got some loose ends I need to tie up because this could be our last mission, and I think everybody on the crew is going to do the same.
I felt like I had forgotten that this is where they told us to do loyalty missions. I feel like it was too much of an info dump. Like, it was too much of like an emotionally charged situation. The mission was crazy. Finding out that the elusive man wasn't telling us the truth about stuff. I feel like this being the time when they're also like, hey, you also need to go and complete all these loyalty missions was also probably the wrong time to do this. Because it was super I'd actually forgotten until you just said this right now, that this is where this comes up. I was just doing the loyalty missions because of I have to do everything because I'm a completionist. And then B, like after you finish a loyalty mission, it says, and now this person is super cool and their loyalty is assured for some reason. So that was actually, I think this was the wrong time to bring up. This is actually, I bring up later in my 3-3s where I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this beyond I need to finish everything, check all the boxes. This is also, this part of the game, after you finish the collectorship, you can just go straight to the end game now. And they don't really tell you that that's what's happening. They kind of like, they allude to it, but if you don't pick up what they're throwing down, you just go to the end of the game. Like there's more
like,
stuff
this
to
is
do,
the next,
but
this is the next major thing, and you should make sure everything's settled before you go. But it's really not. It is not an in-your-face, hey, don't go to this final mission yet. It's a you get it, right? You get what we're saying, right?
Yeah,
right. Don't
they
don't go
wink,
there yet.
but maybe you don't know that the wink. The first time I played this game, I didn't pick up on that, and I just ended the game. And I was like, oh.
I did too.
So this time, I was on the lookout for it. And I also told Matt, hey, look out for this.
Yeah, so be careful. Once you get to this point in the game, if you go on the IFF mission, it triggers the end game. Now, there's technically a couple workarounds. Like, you don't have to go to the end game right after this yet, but you're going to want to.
Yeah, it railroads you pretty hard into it. If I remember correctly, but that was a decade ago, so I could be kind of wrong about that as well. But I feel like I remember
it provides a very strong incentive to do the final mission.
Yes, yeah. What'd you think about the collectorship? How do you like it?
I love this mission.
Yeah.
This is also the mission that took me the most lives to do. Because the first fight, you go to this platform and you activate this platform, and then you basically just have to survive on this platform for a while. And on the higher difficulties, what I'm very used to is staying very far away, staying in cover, and then just like running away whenever somebody gets close. You can't run away because they're right next to you. So you have to think a lot more like carefully about your use of powers and ammo and things of that nature. Because I just kept dying. I think it took 5 or 6 tries before I eventually made it out. And then there is one section at the very, very end where you turn around a corner and there's 0 cover. There is no ammo dump. And so I had used all my ammo in the previous fight, and there were probably 20, 30 husks, and I had no ammo. I had no med kits. All I had were powers. So I would use a power, run away, use a power, run away, use a power, run away. For probably about 5 minutes, and it was the most intense 5 minutes of my entire life.
This was the ramp going down, right?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, you know what? So I got that as well. I still had the Mook Buster 3000. So you just like drop the Mook Buster 3000 into the group of husks. It just takes care of business. I was like, all right, here we go. Because at the time, I was still able to get through like the heavily armored endgame stuff, like the bosses with just my sniper rifle and powers. Now I have to use a laser beam because I can't knock them down fast enough without a good heavy weapon. And I can take care of trash with my powers and my gun. So I need some like the heavy weapon for the bosses now. But at the time, the Mook Buster was still my preferred weapon of choice for the heavy weapon. Still the most fun, by the way. 100% the most fun.
It's real fun.
It's a gravity weapon that sucks everything in, then explodes everything out. It's fantastic. It's so good. I love this mission. It was so much fun. This is also where we learned that the Protheans are the collectors.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that. That's a huge reveal that I totally forgot about.
Yeah. So we learned that what is left of the Prothean race has been, we're unsure to what extent, but has been modified to a certain amount and become the collectors. So the Protheans still exist in the galaxy. They're just basically tools of the Reapers and have been modified to such an extent that we don't even know if these like clawy bug type people were even what the Protheans looked like, but this is what became of the Protheans basically.
A way to kind of think about it is what the Reapers did to humans when they put them on spikes. They like completely like that was a human, but like it's
Husks.
not really a human anymore. That's kind of what they did to the Protheans at this point.
Yeah, very cool.
It's such a fun mission. You can also pick up a weapon specialty here. So for me, I could gain assault rifle or sniper rifle or shotgun specialty. I picked up sniper because my submachine gun was basically as good as most assault rifles, and I didn't want to get ever close to anybody, so I didn't want to use a shotgun. And now I can snipe things, and sniping things is very fun.
Isn't it so fun? So I was given the opportunity to either gain an assault rifle, gain the shotgun, or gain a proficiency in sniper rifling. It was a no-brainer. So I've completely respect my character to around that sniper rifle now. So I have maxed out cloak. When the cloak maxed out gives you 70% bonus damage, I have my gear spec'd around like headshot damage. And so, like, it is an absolute blast with this thing. It's so much fun. I basically just send my characters out to draw things out of cover so I can just headshot them.
Yes. Yes.
Go over there. Thank you. That's a lot of fun.
Taste my grilled cheese.
How are we over an hour in already? Guys, I think Mass Effect 2 should just be called 2 Hour Squelch. Like, just expect 2 hours.
Mass Effect 2 hours. Yeah, that's good. That's accurate as well because it's so much fun. It's such a good game.
It's such a good game. But anyway, munch. I've got the first good here, which is Thane. Thane is just such a good evolution of the Mass Effect world building. He's a wonderful character. He's unique. He's interestingly written. We find out pretty quickly that he has a terminal disease, and he'll even talk to you about it. It's basically a disease called Kepler syndrome, and the way that it functions is as a Drell. They are essentially reptilian, and they have gills, but they're able to process oxygen, just not as effectively as other races typically do. And Kepler syndrome essentially prevents the gills from inhaling oxygen. So it's a terminal disease that happens, and he's going to die soon, but it's not progressed to the stage that he is unable to be in combat. So he's very confident that he can help in this mission. And we just learned a lot about him. He's like someone that's trying to wrap up the ends of his life in a life that he's not proud of, but not ashamed of either in the same way. And he's just such a great character. I love Thane a lot.
Kepler syndrome is super cool as well because it only exists because the Drell live on the Hanar homeworld. Because of the amount of moisture in the air there. They're not as a dry weather species or whatever. They can't handle that much moisture, and so by living on that planet, that just happens to them. And then you later learn that the reason they stay there is because everybody else on their homeworld is essentially dead. Like the Hanar saved a small portion of their species. They live on that homeworld. That's why he feels like the Drell. He owes the Hanar his very existence because they saved 1 million of them, whereas 2 billion died on the planet, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So, and it just feels like there's more to that story. Like it just seems that there's more there, and it feels very much like this is what you were told. Why aren't you thinking about this more? It's really good. It's really good.
I'd play a game just about the Drell and the Hanar. 1,000% I would.
Oh, 100%. Yes. I'll read a book. I'm going to look for a book. I guess there is a Hanar hero in the comics or something, which I have to read. So.
Oh, you talking about Blasto?
Yeah.
We'll talk about Blasto in Mass Effect 3. Blasto's fantastic.
What's our not so good?
Our not so good is that one of the few things that I think Mass Effect 1 does maybe better. I don't know if it's better or not. It's better for me, so I don't go back. But once you close a mission, you cannot go back to that mission. Like if I am, let's say I'm doing Thane's mission, And I realize afterwards, I'm talking to Dano, and Dano's like, oh, did you save the people in the elevator? And I go, oh, no, I didn't. I can't go back and then save the people in the elevator. That mission's done. So there's no going back to grab the extra credits. There's no going back to grab any of the extra things. And there were a couple of times where like you would mention something, I'd be like, I forgot to look for that. And it was just kind of one of those, it's a minor thing. It's not a big deal. If you're not a completionist, it's not something to worry about at all. But it was something that I was like, maybe I do need to have a guide open on some of these missions so that way I don't miss things.
Yeah, I feel like it's all or nothing, where in Mass Effect 1, you could go revisit every place you went to, essentially, and pick up anything you missed. And in Mass Effect 2, you can't go back anywhere.
Yeah.
But like some of them, like the world that you were on when you rescued Tali, there's zero reason why you shouldn't be able to go back there and go, oh, you know what? There were 6,000 credits there. Or there was some research I should have picked up there. There's no reason why you couldn't go back there. It was a dead planet with nobody on it. So like you going back there there should be no reason why you couldn't if you wanted to. So I feel like it shouldn't be all or nothing. It makes sense for like Thane's mission. There'd be no reason why you could go back and rescue those people. Those people would either be rescued or not rescued. But like, as far as like going back to a dead planet where nobody was on it in the first place and you were just fighting the Geth that moved on, there's no reason why you couldn't go back and pick up some research. So I don't think it should be all or nothing. And that's why I play with the guide, is because that drives me crazy.
Yep. That's very fair.
I've got the best good, and it's the most inane Mass Effect 1 mission was you could be walking around the Citadel and there was a lady talking with her brother-in-law. She's a mother of an infant, essentially. And they are talking about whether or not to get this like gene therapy to improve some medical thing that he was born with. Medical MacGuffin that he was born with. This terrible thing happens. Her husband and the father is dead. And so she's discussing with the uncle. The uncle is like, he should 100% get it. There is like a 0.1% chance that like something bad could happen. And she's like, but like, I read some things on some blogs. And I'm like, all right, Jenny McCarthy, whatever you say.
WebMD is incredible.
And so you can basically talk to them and say, hey, she's the mom, let her do her thing. Or you could be like, hey, there's the research says this is safe and it's safe and it will improve your child's like life. So you can make that decision for them, like as a stranger on, like, a stranger on the street, you can go up and fix them. When you are walking around the Citadel at one of the shops in Mass Effect 2, you can't interact with them, but you walk into the shop and then you just, you hear this.
He's my baby. He's all I have left of Jacob.
I know.
I just want to protect him.
I know.
I'm not being irrational, Michael.
I know.
I trust you, Michael. What medical upgrades do you want to get for him?
I don't know. Maybe we should ask random people on the street what they think.
I'm getting the immunobooster. And a drink.
I don't know. Maybe
so
we
good.
ask random people on the street what they think.
I want to, kind of in the same vein, very, very quickly, one of my favorite throwbacks, kind of references to Mass Effect 1, is Conrad Werner. Conrad Werner is your biggest fan in Mass Effect 1, and on Ilium, you can see him again. Now, there's a bug, which is kind of a bummer of a bug.
Why did they fix it?
I don't know, but the bug is essentially no matter how you responded to Conrad Werner in Mass Effect 1, he'll always respond as if you had picked the Renegade option. So he's like, Shepard, you were so mean to me back on the Citadel. And I was like, but I was so nice to you. I was actually so nice to you. But he's trying to be Shepard again, and it's so delightfully dumb. He talks to this Asari, and this Asari's like, I'm definitely an undercover cop, and you should tell this person to sell their bar to me because drugs. And he immediately believes them, and Shepard can go to that Asari and be like, hey, yeah, I know you're an undercover cop. I've got the deal all sorted out. You just need to go. And then they get there and they're like, no, you're under arrest for extortion. Get out of here.
It's so good. And he's like cosplaying as Shepard. And what's so funny is, my wife was so supportive. She thought I should go and travel the galaxy.
She even bought me my ship ticket off the Citadel. And it's like, yeah, she did.
That's what it is. It's so funny. So apparently you can actually go into like your game state and like you can adjust. You have to adjust stuff manually in order to fix that. I guess I read that somewhere that you could actually fix that, but I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, no.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions.
3, that's a magic number.
What are you liking so far there, Storm Rage?
The variety of individuals that are in your squad are just so fun. Like, you've got really, really serious emo boys and girls. You've got pretty silly guys and gals. You've got war criminals and friends, and maybe that's one and the same. And if there's a companion you don't love because you're like, I don't really like the way that they're written, you can just pick somebody else. Like, you never have to use that person ever again. And so, like, the fact that you can literally, like, choose how your missions play out in the form of who's supporting you, super fun.
I don't know what the Space Paladin's powers are. I've never used her. Not once. I'm really
That's really funny.
I typically will go with whatever the guide says will give me the most dialogue options. So the guide that I use, the IGN guide, will be like, these 2 people or these 3 people will have the best like power state for this. So if you want to like min-max your ability to get through the level, you should use Jack here because her strong biotics, or you should use Garrus because of his whatever powers. And then sometimes it will also say, if you want the most dialogue options, use Tali or use Jack or use... So I always pick that one. I never pick the best one for the combat. I always pick the best one for the dialogue options because they're always funny. But yeah, I love that too and what's awesome is you don't have to use them to get their loyalty missions. Those just happen automatically. So I love that as well. Now you have to take them on the loyalty mission, obviously. But if you only wanted to play one mission with that person and that's a loyalty mission, you can do that, which I like as well.
What about you? What are you liking?
I like that there aren't enough credits to upgrade everything in the game. So there are a finite number of credits in this game. There's only one place to gamble, and that is on the Krogan homeworld, and you can only gamble 250 credits at a time. You can't sell anything in this game for more credits. You only get credits when you finish missions. So whatever you spend your credit, and then those credits aren't enough to buy all the upgrades you need. So you actually have to be thoughtful about where you're spending your credits. I think that makes the game so much more fun. So it's like if it's between assault rifles and sniper rifle, I obviously can upgrade my sniper rifle because that's more important than me getting upgraded assault rifles. I think it adds cool flavor to the game. It makes the money an actual valuable resource in the game, as opposed to like Mass Effect 1, where I had unlimited funds. Like it stopped giving me money because I had maxed out the amount of money it would allow me to have. What are you struggling with so far? Oh,
I don't have enough money to do anything. I was so excited when you started talking about this. You start the game if you import with quite a number of credits already, which means like if you don't import from Mass Effect 1, you have, I don't know how you do anything in this game.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, because you talked about it last week. You were like, I'm running out of credits. And I was like, I have so many credits. I can't run out. And then I went to the Citadel and I went to one shop and I was like, I'm out of credits. Oh, no. So all of a sudden I'm like, how do I get more money? How do I get more money? And I am feverishly looking for any safes or anything that I can steal any credits off of.
Yeah, I actually Googled it. I actually searched, if there are enough credits to buy everything, and there are not. So you do have to be thoughtful in how you spend it. Now, even if you spent poorly, I think there are enough credits where you can buy the majority of what you need. But yeah, it's super cool. And what's really fun is, like, there are certain upgrades that you, like, gain. Like, so you can gain, like, research through missions that you discover on the ground. But you can't actually research them without first having bought enough upgrades or discovering enough upgrades or having the ore for them. So like it does cap what you actually can gain. Really clever, super duper clever. Yeah. I love it. And it doesn't involve as random stuff falling on the ground, which I love.
Yeah, I am stoked about that. Daniel, what are you struggling with?
So I'm a little bummed that the game is just more or less putting the band together as opposed to actually defeating the collectors. Like 3/4 of your missions are going to be either recruiting a friend or making sure your friend isn't sad, which is fine and fun. And they're really great, interesting characters. But like, it very much feels like you and the Scooby Gang are going around and then, oh yeah, we also have to save the galaxy. It seems very much like saving the galaxy is secondary to like bumming around with your friends, which is fine. It's having a ton of fun doing it, but I do feel like they kind of lost the forest for the trees a little bit in this one, where in Mass Effect 1, the main story was amazing and everything else was kind of a bust. In this one, I feel like the main story is there, but it very much takes a back seat to all these ancillary things going around in the world. They're all very interesting and cool, but
I would even add on to that I think the main story is still really good. It's just a lot shorter and a lot smaller. And so it's a very engaging story. And I think like the number of missions that you do for the main story is relatively equal.
Yeah.
But the number of interesting side quests that you do in this one has just ballooned so much more.
And they require you to go on X number of side quests before you get the required mission quests. So like you can't get like the collector ship until you've done like 5 other missions, and then it comes up automatically. So there are certain like benchmarks you have to hit in order to get these missions. So you can't just like do like you did in Mass Effect 1 and kind of speedrun the game almost and just forget everything on the side. In this one, you have to do a certain number of these side missions. Because I bet you the main storyline's 10 hours.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so, which is fine. It's a good story, but it kind of gets lost, I feel like, a little bit in the weeds. So what has surprised you about the game?
Did you not want to talk about anything else on your... What are you struggling with?
I already kind of talked about it.
Okay.
Because we talked about it in the collector. So a lot with the collector ship where I had honestly forgotten that like we are told to go on these side missions with your friends in order to put them in the right mind. So for me, like I was just like, I'm just doing this because I'm a nice person, but really there's no reason to do it. I also am still infinitely upset and angry about Yeoman Chambers not being my friend. It's so upsetting. It's so ridiculously upsetting that she's not my friend. And I'm actually getting more and more worried about the end of the game and Yeoman Chambers now. Because, like, if she's not my friend, I'm a little worried about what's going to happen to her. But it's so frustrating that they hid her friendship behind a romance line. It's so frustrating. So, anyways,
There is one thing that you did mention that you have written out that I do want to talk about, which is like the upgrades for the Normandy.
Yes. So one of the things that you get when you talk to your friends as you come in is they offer, you can ask for upgrades to the Normandy. And that's just kind of buried in dialogue options in the dialogue wheel. It's just a bracket that says Normandy upgrade. And you click on that and they'll say, hey, I have this great idea to make the cannons better. Or I have this great idea for the shields to be improved. Or I have, in the case of Grunt, he's like, make me a shotgun. and you can do that. It's research material. It's research stuff for the ship. And you go out and you mine ore for it. The game never really tells you why you're upgrading your ship. Like, why would I upgrade these primary cannons I've never used or seem to have any reason for? Or why am I upgrading armor or shields? Like, obviously it's coming up, but like the game doesn't give you any real reason to do these things. I feel like there needs to be like conversation, like maybe like Yeoman Chambers is like, hey, like, have you thought about upgrading this or that? Or, what can we do to make sure that we don't get blown up by the collectors again? There's like little like reminders that's like kind of thrown in throughout the game. I think would be helpful to like make sure you are completing this stuff.
I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to push back on 2 different things here, which is when you do talk to the characters that upgrade the ship, they do tell you both in a brief dialogue after you've purchased the upgrade, if you purchase it from them, and also in the description of the upgrade about like what it'll do.
Yes.
So
yes,
one of the
do.
descriptions, like if you talk to Garrus, he's like, hey, I can upgrade the gun. And it's like, all right, here's the gun upgrade. It'll pierce through a collector shield now. And he's like, now if we run across the collector ship, we can impact it. And I think I like that they do not tell you why or if these upgrades are important for maybe a perhaps a sadistic reason, but because I didn't take these the first time through, and it made my first run through way more impactful. And I think that there are some things that I like that it's like, oh, I understand why that's important now when I didn't see it before. I think it is a more intense narrative decision, and maybe it rewards you, maybe it doesn't. I'm not going to tell you. It's fun either way, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I don't dislike it whatsoever. And it gives you a reason to recruit them as well and to become friends and pals with them. So I think it does two things, and also the flavor of it. And I don't disagree with you whatsoever. So what surprised you?
What surprised me is, as I'm leveling up the game is getting like quite a bit easier as the engineer because my powers are so much better at every step of the way. Like my Ignite is phenomenal, my Overload is great, and like the powers are really, really fun to use. But if I find any single place in which there are not mid-chest high walls, I get absolutely terrified because my game plan is sit behind a wall, spam powers, slowly burn them down. If there is an area in which there are not chest high walls, I will run away because I do not want to fight that fight. That's a terrifying fight. And the amount of game mechanics that you have to engage in when you are at higher difficulties is, at first I was a little upset about it, but now I'm just like, oh, this is really fun because I have to engage in a way that is unique to this game. Agreed.
I also kind of have to. Cover is a big deal for me as well because I am playing as a sniper. I have like a 10% increased like dash speed because I need to run to cover quickly, like for my gear. So like I'm constantly dashing from cover to cover because I'm not necessarily winning enough my powers. I do use like the Ignite and then like to go through armor, but then it's just like headshot, which is lots of fun. Mm-hmm. Have you done the grunt mission yet?
I have not done any of the loyalty missions yet.
Okay, the grunt loyalty mission, there is one specific part of the map where they walk across a catwalk and then they come down a stairwell that just completely flanks you and you can't do anything about it. And like Krogan are terrifying because they regenerate.
They're so spooky. They're so spooky.
And so they keep on getting closer and closer and I'm like, oh no.
Run away. Dana, what surprised you about the game?
The game actually forces you to do things in a timely manner. Some things. So a couple different points in the game, the elusive man will give you a phone call and be like, the collectors are doing something, go and stop them. And then the game forces you to that planet. You have to go there. You can't not go there. I absolutely love that. One of the biggest problems I have with video games is like a false sense of urgency where it's like this emergency situation is happening. And then you can just ignore that thing for like the entirety of the game and get to it whenever you want to. And then you solve the emergency. Either be an emergency or don't be an emergency.
Yeah.
And so like, I love that there are emergencies and you have to do it. Now, this game's not perfect about that either. I have one mission that's been sitting on my map for the entire game, which is a ship is in the middle of crashing and I need to go and save it. I haven't touched it. I'm like, I'll get there eventually.
It's a very slow crash.
You're thinking, can I afford to buy a car like this? Huh, am I right? Seriously, Stan, you can't afford not to buy a car like this, and I'm going to make it easy on you.
So one sentence, maybe two if you want. Sell the game to a friend.
Grab some pals and heal the trauma. Mostly.
We have the same one.
Dano?
Do you want to be the normal one in your friend group for once? Well, let me tell you about Mass Effect 2.
Good.
Let's get salty!
All right, I want you to read the first bit of Salt there, Storm Rage.
This is by Lucy, who has 269 nice 0.9 hours on record. I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite game on Steam.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
It's such a good bit. It's such a good meme.
It's 4 different stores you walk into, and every time you walk into it, I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on Citadel. They're next to each other. It's so good. It should be the Renegade option. It shouldn't be the Paragon option. It should 100% be the Renegade option. They got it wrong. It's so good. But that's it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to all our patrons for patronizing us. Special thank you to our producers and best friends forever, Baximus and RidiculousHat. You can find links to our Discord and contact information at the pinned comment on our Patreon page over at patreon.com/squelch.
Yeah! Fix the trauma of your friends with guns, baby!
And don't forget that Mass Effect 2 is a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
This is the end of the show! Everybody bye!
So I realized making the schedule, I may have made a mistake.
Cool.
Next week is a lot. Next week is so many missions.
You're not going to be able to do it, Storm Rage. There's a 0% chance you're going to get those done.
Like, I'm obviously gonna play through them. I'm not worried about that one. But recapping all of them, I think I'm gonna have to do like a 2-sentence recap in how we gain everybody's loyalty, and then we're just gonna have to talk about them on the whole, rather than like going plot by plot of each detail for each of the 11 missions, plus the Lair of the Shadowbroker, plus Project Overlord. Like, oh man.
The story, the loyalty missions are the most interesting part of the game, though. So part of me feels like we just make next week a 2-week episode, actually, which will give Matt and you time to actually finish them.
Well, I'll get through. I'm not worried about getting through them. Matt might not be able to.
Because I'm not done with them yet. Even I have 2 left.
My plan is when we hit stop, I'm gonna feed my dog and then just play Mass Effect until I go to sleep tonight.
That's what I've been doing. I haven't touched any other video games. There's no reason to. This game is so much fun. Like, it's just an absolute blast. I've been loving it so much.
It's obnoxiously fun.
It is ridiculously fun. It is so much fun. I'll be honest. I'm having so much fun that I almost wonder if we need to do a palate cleanser after we're done, instead of going right into Origins, because I loaded up Origins and it was like a punch to the nose in like different kind of game. So like we're gonna talk. I want to talk about it tonight, and by Tuesday, let's make a decision. And we'll update the schedule about next week's episode if we're gonna split it. And then if we want to push Origins and the Dragon Age arc of the show back a month in order to do like a palate cleanser of just like an indie game or some like maybe 4 free-to-plays or something like that.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get the taste of Mass Effect out of our mouths before we go and play a 20-year-old video game that has not been updated. That does need a sketchy patch in order to make it work. All right, I think that's going to be it for this week. We're going to go to After Dark real quick, where we're going to talk about shows that I like. It can be a super long one, but I really want to talk about Dan to Dan. So we're going to go over there. I think we'll talk at you all again next week.
Bye-bye.